Hello everyone. Before going stage 3 with the X47R Turbo, which by the time you see this video it's pretty on order, before we do that we've got to be able to stop. So I've got a Wilwood 6-pot big brake kit to put on the fronts of the Fiesta ST. Also going to paint the rear brake calipers yellow, the stock ones, put some braided lines on the rears as well, flush the brake system with some Motul 600 brake fluid, and using Forscan to help flush the brakes. This isn't going to be a how-to video. Step by step I'll show different stages of the completed sections of the video, but there's a lot of great YouTube videos already out there that I'll reference in the comments below that I use to do this process. But anyway, let's get cracking and get this brake kit on and get happy. Just a little update where we're at with the front brakes. So taking the stock brakes off, just put the caliper, strung it up. Doesn't really matter, I can just pull this off, this hose, but I'm just going to string it up for now, get it out of the way, and when it's time to change the braided lines with the Wilwood ones, I'll be ready to go. That's all the old calipers off. On the rears, I've had a bit of fun. So I've been painting the stock caliper. Taped everything up. Pushed the piston back in with the piston tool. Just a couple of coats of primer. A few coats of yellow. Just about hit it with some clear coat. Don't really need to paint this part here because you won't see it, but like I say, taped up all the piston holes. I've got the Wilwood the Wilwood rotors torqued up and screwed up, so it's all ready to go. And with the rear brakes, just got to remove the handbrake cable here, push these pins in, and it just pulls out of the carrier, and then the caliper comes out. And then on the rears, these are the stock pads. So I had to do a quick emergency purchase of some replacement pads from Brakes Direct. Big shout out to Greg. They're at Brakes Direct, very quick, also in Brisbane, which helps. These are the stock ones. You can see there's only maybe a mil, hardly that, before they're ready to go. So I bought some Wagner, basically OEM replacements. That's sort of all they had in stock, but yeah, you can see the difference there between the two. There. So yeah, while we're here, might as well do the pads as well. I was just going to paint them and change the braided lines, but change the brake lines to braided lines in the rear. But while we're here, we might as well do the pads as well. So yeah, we'll keep on moving. Another little problem that I've had is that this slider pin here is threaded. So when I went to put it back in, the thread goes about a quarter of the way in before it buckles. So one of the threads in the bolt's gone. So I was in all sorts of strife. I was like, oh no, I can't put the rear brakes on now. So I rang up Ford Australia. It's about a six week to 3 month wait for that part, or some new slider pins. So there's none in Australia. Even the Ford Melbourne main parts distribution center doesn't have any, so that was that option. I rang a couple of wreckers, but they want to just sell you a whole rear caliper set with slider pins for $200-300, because obviously if you take your slider pin out, it renders it virtually useless or very hard for them to sell. So understandably they don't want to get rid of just the slider pin. So I put it out to the Facebook Fiesta ST Australia Facebook forum if anybody had a spare one, and big shout out to Hayden on the Fiesta ST Australia Facebook group. He said I've got one. I'll need it back, or I'll need a replacement eventually. I just don't need mine now, but if you're in a bind, I can give you mine. And he did. It's now on the car, and we can get our brakes done, which is great. So I'm going to give him, I've just ordered some a new one, a set of 4 on eBay from the UK. They're probably about 2-3 weeks away from being delivered, but they were $25 for a set of 4, but $40 delivery. So delivery to Australia really sucks, but so $65 for 4 of those. So I'll give him one, and I've got 3 spare then, so just in case this ever happens again. But yeah, as you can probably see, I've threaded, you can see a bit of the metal coming out. It's just threaded. So if you're doing your rear brakes, or if you're doing the stock brakes, the stock brakes, the front brakes have a slightly longer slider pin than this one. This is the rear pin. Just be careful. I've heard on the other forums that these slider pins can seize and rust out. That hasn't happened in this case, but I just cleaned them up. But yeah, if you do get a bolt threaded, you're pretty much stuck. So it's probably not a bad idea to order some spare slider pins from eBay, and just make sure you get the right part number as well. I do have that somewhere. I will post that down in the comments below, what I ordered for the rears, and there's also, I'll put a link for the front slider pins. But again, big shout out to Hayden. Really got me out of a bind. Thanks, mate. Okay, so we've got the brake calipers painted with StockTech braided lines on the rear. All looking good to go. The fronts are done as well with the Wilwoods and the Wilwood braided lines. Just got to give them a bit of a clean up. One thing I'll say, that the little clip that's up here that holds in the lines, they're not very easy to take out at all. Unlike the videos in the description below, they look like they just pull it out with a small pair of pliers and hardly any force at all. But took a bit of wiggling around to get that out. But once it's out, that's worked all right. And just got one more corner to go. So we've painted the other. Just got some tape over where we don't want any of the paint to go. A couple of layers of clear coat on that as well. We'll put those on and see how it ends up. Okay, just a little update where we're up to. I've just got the brake bleeder hooked up, ready to go. Going to drain the brakes with Forscan just to make sure we get all the air out of the system.